So my baby is asleep right now, and I'm going to show you my 3D printing process. We're going to be in a few different programs right now. We're in Cinema 4D, and I'm going to show you how I would go about preparing the asset. Can you just let me know? Can you hear the volume if I'm speaking like this? Like, can you hear me right now? I'm whispering into this like tiny little microphone. Hopefully you can hear it. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this microphone right here. Can you hear this microphone right now? Okay, well, I'm just gonna do my work. Or maybe I should plug in this microphone. Maybe. Okay, you can hear. Alright, great. So, I'll show you what I've done so far is I've broken up into different components, and then the ones that are complete, I've like added a color brick to it. So, for instance, each part of the model is now separated into these like large areas and flattened. And what we're going to be doing right now is adding cutouts into each of these large pieces so that we can assemble it together kind of like Bionicles. So I found this really nifty ball and socket joint on a website called Thingy-verse, Thingiverse. And this ball and socket joint is perfect because you can just snap pieces together. And so that's what we're doing. And so if I turn on the X-ray mode so we can see through the model here, you can see that I'm placing ball and socket joints in each appropriate area so that when we print this out, we'll be able to snap the model together as different pieces. So we're going to focus on continuing to break up the model into individual parts. And once it's broken up into individual parts, we're also going to add ball and socket joints to every joint, even if it technically wouldn't be a ball and socket joint. We're just going to do it anyway. Oh wow, thank you so much for following since 2020. That is a long time, and I really appreciate you being there. I feel this quietness weekend off, but hoping my people are dialing in as well. You got it. Let's get right back into it. Okay, so I'm now going to turn the upper torso into a X-ray mode so I can see through the model. And I'll show you how I'm thinking about approaching this. So if we were to just reveal the torso and no arm, so we had torso and just the ball and socket joint, and then no arm, no legs. Okay, so we need to make there needs to be enough space to fit this ball and socket joint back over the model. So right now that's plenty of room, but I actually can do with even less room will be fine. So we're going to go into the torso and kind of just make the opening a little bit smaller. So I got the joint selected here, and I'm just going to shrink it down and try to align this as best as I can to the joints. We just need this one to go to about this far into the model. There we go. That looks pretty good. That looks really good. Okay. So let's go ahead and hide the ball and socket joint now. And now what we're going to do is clamp this to that point. increase the size of the brush, holding shift, and just kind of smooth out the geometry on the back here. Simply by smoothing out the geometry, it's like it never happened. And increase the strength of the smoothing. And so we just get this nice smooth back texture. And increase the strength of the brush. There we go. This is kind of like, some of the model cleanup I like to do. That looks great. Okay, next we're going to go to the loop selection brush in our standard model. And we're going to go to the edges. We're going to do a cut. We're going to just make a little cut in the geometry right around there. Now I'm going to grab this loop. And with this loop, I'm just going to push the geometry back in a little bit more. Cool, so it just kind of like ensures that we really have a clean break point. Okay, so if we did all this correctly, my name is Mohammed. I need $50 to start trading, and my profit I will share with you. I don't do business like that through live streams. I mostly share educational tutorials. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we got this ball and socket placed. Now we need to make sure that it fits with the rest of the geometry. So we're gonna fuse it in just a moment. We're also gonna need to do this to the hand. I'm gonna cut the wrist off right here, just so I can print the hand separately, or maybe even refine the hand a little bit to give it more robotic details. But for now, we're just gonna give it a nice clean break. So let's look for a good path to select. So far, I'm not seeing any good clean paths. So we're gonna have to use a different technique. There's a type of geometry selection called UV peeler. It's UM is the shortcut. And what you can do is manually select exactly where you would like to draw the line. Oh, my baby's waking up. I'm going to be a little bit quiet now. Because if she's waking up, I won't be able to stream anymore. see the forearm and the shoulder and everything. So just by doing that, we're going to be able to get some better references of the arm as a texture, as geometry. Then we're going to feed that into a different AI to generate the 3D model. This is an important step because it will allow us to have a lot of clarity in the design. So, while that's working, we're probably not going to use this arm at all. I might even replace the whole shoulder and stuff. But regardless, I think that's okay because that will be more aligned with my design intention. So we're going to get another four, and another 4 options to choose from, which will be really cool. So I'm just waiting for it to finish up here. I'm asking it for it in 4K quality, and that was my prompt. So I gave it these images so it knows the character. I try to find as many angles that show a diverse set of angles of the robot arm. I said we need an extreme close-up of the entire arm. That already looks incredible. Look at how much more detail there is when we ask for Nano Banana Pro to provide just the arm. I think I like the first one the most. So I'm going to go ahead and download this one into the same folder that I have. I'm going to call this arm. And now I'm going to go to the AI tool that I used. This was the website called Trippo 3D. If you want to take a screenshot, it's studio.trippo3d.ai. And this will allow you to turn any image into a 3D model. It works great for single assets. It's not that great for environments, but I would rather use a Gaussian splat for environments. This is where I got the initial pass of the geometry. So we're going to go to our settings. We're going to go to generate a model. And we're going to upload the brand new image of the arm that we just generated. It says file size is too large, so we're going to need to reduce the file size because it's a 4K image. So I'm going to go to it. I forgot where I saved it, but I'll find it right now. There it is. First thing I'm going to do is quick actions. I'm going to go to convert image as a JPEG, and we're going to make it a medium-sized image. Great. Now we're going to drag this in. Wonderful. And then we're going to choose generate parts. I think will be better. I don't need any texture. And then for topology, we're going to choose quads. I don't know what this is. I don't know if I want smart low poly. For poly count, I'll choose auto. Let's go ahead and generate the model. And then this website gets right to it and starts to try to generate the model right there. And it tells you how fast until you see the model. 34 seconds. Yes, the baby is sleeping. Sorry for the whispering. I'm watching my baby right now. And she's in a little small crib next to me. I don't want to wake her up because we just got her to sleep. I'm going to go ahead and pin your comment though so that people have that context. Okay, our 3D model should be done shortly. Here it is. almost done. Look at that. Now that is some incredibly rich detail. Oh my God, this is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm gonna export this as a OBJ file and keep everything the same. And that's how you can convert an AI-generated image into a 3D model that you can now start building into 3D applications like Unreal Engine, or animating with Blender, or doing VFX with Cinema 4D, or doing motion graphics with Adobe After Effects, or doing 3D printing. It's a really powerful workflow. So here's the robotic arm. If we expand it, and there it is. It's perfect. I'm going to bring it into my 3D tool and replace this arm with the brand new arm by dragging it into the scene. I think my baby's waking up, so I might have to go shortly. We'll see how this goes. Okay, she's definitely awake, so I'm going to bring my voice back. Alright, so this is the hand and arm that it generated. It looks really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and copy it from this scene and bring it into the original scene here. Set up our settings. By default, it's really small. So we're going to make it 100 times larger by going to the object coordinate scale, multiply it by 100. Okay, that's too big of an arm, so we're just going to manually eyeball it and rotate this into place, 90 degrees right there. And I'm just going to manually place this arm. I'm also going to move the anchor point to be where the shoulder connects. So it's going to go to the anchor point and move the anchor point over there where the shoulder is. This will help me with alignment later on anyway. So we kind of needed to do this regardless. I'm also going to just move the alignment there. Okay, now that the anchor point is moved, we can turn off anchor adjust, and we can now place this arm in the rightful spot. That looks good. And next we're going to rotate it and scale it down so it's the right proportions. Look at how much more detail we're getting out of this arm now that we have a separate 3D model just for the purpose of, just for the purpose of it. And it came out really good. And so I think you get the idea. So we're going to be wrapping up the stream here in just a second. The idea would be to then delete any geometry we don't need, which in this case is pretty much the whole rest of the arm. And we're going to keep in its place this fancy arm. And we still need to break up all the components into all their individual pieces. And that will be our next step when we come back. But for now, I'm just going to, we'll come back. But just take a look at the before and after. We can have completely different quality geometry using this method of kind of exporting the individual parts. But that is all we have time for today. So, good to see you, Ironwood River. And that's all, that's all we have time for today. This is my third live stream today. We'll definitely be back a little bit later. I'll be back. But take a little break for now. Okay, bye-bye.